Hello, today's lesson provides a basic introduction to the concept of parts of speech in English. Part 1. The lesson Introduction to Parts of Speech is divided into 2 videos, and this video is the first one. We shall deal with nouns, pronouns, verbs, and determiners. The remaining parts of speech will be dealt with in the second video. The objective of introducing parts of speech and this presentation is to make students identify the different parts of speech in English. The words that compose the English language or any other language can be classified in various ways. In English, all words can be grouped into 8 different classes according to their use in the sentence, that is, according to the work they do. Those 8 classes are called parts of speech. They are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Before dealing with each category, let's have a look at these examples. He came by a very fast train. William ran very fast. They are going to fast for 3 days. During that time, they won't eat anything. At the end of that 3 days fast, they will have a very light meal. As you can see in these examples, fast in sentence A describes the noun train. Here, fast is adjective. In sentence B, fast does not describe the noun William but describes the way or the manner William ran. How did he run? He ran fast. Be careful, we do not say fastly but fast. Here, fast in sentence B is an adverb. In sentence C, it is a verb, and in sentence D, it is a noun. You can clearly see that even if the word fast has the same form in all 4 sentences, it is different from one sentence to another. The decision to select a particular word at one place in a structure obviously imposes great constraints on what can be selected at another. It is important to remember that words are classified into parts of speech according to the work they do and not according to their form. So do not be misled by the form. As I have said earlier, there are 8 parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Number 1. Nouns. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, quality, or idea. For example, Jane, Algeria, book, beauty, freedom, etc. There are different types of nouns. We have a proper noun, names a particular person, place, or thing. They are generally capitalized, for example, Jane, Canada, Ford, the White House. A common noun names any one of a class of persons, places, or things. Common nouns are as follows. A concrete noun names something one may see, hear, feel, taste, or smell. For example, tree, bell, soup, perfume, pencil. An abstract noun names a quality, an idea, or an emotion. For example, fear, honesty, equality, liberty, beauty. Countable or uncountable nouns. Countable nouns can be counted, for example, an apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, etc. We can put them into the plural form. Uncountable nouns, however, cannot be counted. For example, air, rice, water, etc. When you learn a new noun, you should check if it is countable or uncountable and note how it is used in a sentence. A collective noun names a group of people or things spoken of as a unit, for example, team, jury, audience, herd, class, etc. Exercise. Take a piece of paper, pause the video and identify all the nouns in the sentences below. Preparation for an athletic event such as the New York City Marathon involves serious effort. A weightlifter must have the capability to lift incredibly heavy weights. Wrestlers wage individual battles but can earn points for a team. Although basketball was invented in the United States, it is now played throughout the world and it's part of the Olympics. Soccer and lacrosse are sports that are gaining popularity in America. A club sometimes sponsors swimmers, golfers, or other athletes in competitions. A group of running events may be held on indoor tracks. A league, such as the National Hockey League, can provide national organization. A committee may judge events such as skating competitions. In any sport, only a handful will earn the reputation of a Monica Seles or a Michael Jordan. Now, let's correct the exercise. The nouns are preparation, event, New York, city, marathon, effort. Weightlifter, capability, wrestlers, battles, points, team. Basketball, United States, world, part, Olympics. Soccer, lacrosse, sports, popularity, America. Club, swimmers, golfers, athletes. Competitions. Group, events, tracks. League, National Hockey League, organization, committee, events, competitions. Sport, handful, reputation, Monica Seles, and Michael Jordan. Now take a piece of paper, pause the video again and use the previous underlined nouns. From the sentences above, list 5 examples of each of the following: proper nouns, collective nouns, concrete nouns, abstract nouns, countable nouns, and countable nouns. The answers can be as follows. Proper: New York, United States, Olympics, Monica Seles, Michael Jordan. Collective: team, club, group, committee, league. Concrete: weightlifter, wrestlers, sports, group, swimmers. Abstract: effort, preparation, capability, popularity, reputation. Countable: event, city, weightlifter, weights, battles. Uncountable: effort, capability, popularity, soccer, lacrosse. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun, a group of words acting as a noun or another pronoun. In other words, a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. A personal pronoun refers to a person without naming them. For example, I, you, him, us, it, etc. A relative pronoun introduces an adjective clause and relates it to a person or a thing previously named. For example, he is the man who wrote the book of poems that you borrowed from my cousin. In this sentence, we have 2 relative pronouns, who and that, and both of them replace the words preceding them. Who replaces man and that replaces poems. A possessive pronoun takes the place of the possessive form of a noun. For example, mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. A demonstrative pronoun points out persons or things. For example, this is my cousin, and that is his little brother. These are my books, and those are yours. This and that refer to singular countable nouns, abstract and uncountable nouns, but these and those replace plural countable nouns and concrete nouns. Use this and these to indicate nouns that are near in time and place, but use that and those before nouns that are far in time and place. An interrogative pronoun introduces a question. like, who is there? What does he want? As you can see in these two questions, the pronouns who and what do not occur before any noun. There is no noun after them. If, for example, we have what book does he want, what here is no longer an interrogative pronoun, but instead it is an interrogative adjective, as we shall see later in this video. An indefinite pronoun indicates a person or a thing not specifically named. For example, someone, everyone, all, each, few, several, either, etc. Reflective pronoun emphasizes the noun or pronoun that precedes it. For example, himself, herself, itself, yourself, themselves. These pronouns can be either reflexive or intensive depending on their use in the sentence. A reciprocal pronoun expresses the mutual action of the relationship of the persons indicated by the subject. It is used only as the object of a verb or the object of a preposition. There are only two reciprocal pronouns in English. Reference to two persons, each other. For example, the two mountain climbers helped each other. And reference to more than two persons, one another. For example, the 6 mountain climbers helped one another. Exercise. Take a piece of paper, pause the video, and identify all the pronouns in the quotations and proverbs below. And identify whether they are personal, relative, possessive, demonstrative, interrogative, indefinite, reflective, or reciprocal. Never advise anyone to go on war or to marry. Admonish your friends privately, but praise them openly. All happy families resemble one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. I pledge myself to a New Deal for the American people. Many can argue, not many converse. As you make your bed, you must lie in it. Everything changes but change. All will come out in the washing. No one reaches a high position without daring. Which is he trying to escape, the world or the end of it? I'm from Missouri. You must show me. God save me from my friends. I can protect myself from my enemies. We set ourselves to buy the hand that feeds us. He laughs best who laughs last. Nothing is sillier than silly laughter. What is the city but the people? If a man bites a dog, that is news. Nothing succeeds like success. Who is firm in will molds the world to himself. I will never reveal my dreadful secrets, or rather yours. Look at the following table and check your answers. There are 20 sentences. Each sentence has the following pronouns. Sentence number 1 has anyone as an indefinite pronoun. Sentence number 2, them. Number 3, one another. Number 4, I, you, myself. 5, many. 6, you, it. 7, everything. 8, all. 9, one. 10, it and which. 11, I, you, me. 12, me, I, myself. 13, we, us, that, ourselves. 14, he, who. 15, nothing. 16, what. 17, that. 18, nothing. 19, he, who, himself. 20, I, then yours. A verb is a word that expresses action or a state of being and is necessary to make a statement and a sentence. A verb expresses time, present, past, and future by using tense forms. The function of a verb may change according to its position in the sentence, so there are different types of verbs. A main verb performs the principal action or makes the principal statement about the subject. For example, he has been waiting for you. In this sentence, there are three verbs: has, been, and waiting. But waiting is the main verb of this sentence. The verb to wait is conjugated into the present perfect continuous. Has and been are just auxiliaries that help to form the tense, the present perfect continuous of the verb to wait. So we have waiting as the main verb. An auxiliary or helping verb helps the main verb to indicate time, present, past, or future, aspect, simple, perfect, or continuous, person, personal or neutral, number, singular or plural, form, affirmative, negative, or interrogative, and then voice, active or passive. In English, there are three auxiliary verbs: to be, to have, and to do. Observe how they help the main verb in the following examples. I am waiting. To be or am is the auxiliary and it helps the verb to wait to form the present continuous tense. It also indicates the first person singular. She does not like to wait. Here we need to use the auxiliary to do in order to make the negative form. The man has been waiting. Has been is the auxiliary. We have been waiting, have been. They were waiting, here, were, helps to indicate time, the past, and number, plural. The job was done by Mr. Jones. This sentence is in the passive voice. The active voice is Mr. Jones did the job. In transforming the active into passive, we need to conjugate the auxiliary to be in the tense of the main verb. So did becomes was done. Verbs can also be divided into two main categories: action verbs and state verbs. An action verb tells what someone or something does. Action verbs can express either physical or mental action. For example, he worked on the painting, physical action. She admires Picasso, a mental action. State, or sometimes also called stative verbs, do not refer to physical action. They express a state or a condition, things which are permanent or durative. Some examples of state verbs are like, love, believe, know, understand, have when it means to own, live, prefer, hate, see, reign, etc. We do not normally use state verbs in the continuous form. It means in the ing form. So we say, I like cheese. We don't say, I'm liking cheese. He believes in God. We do not say, he is believing in God. We say, she has known me for 5 years, not she has been knowing me for 5 years. He has 3 brothers, not his having 3 brothers. I understand, not I'm understanding. Verbs can also be divided into 3 main other categories: transitive, intransitive, and linking. A transitive verb requires an object to receive its action. A transitive verb is an action verb that is followed by a word or words that answer the question what or whom. For example, Martha ate the sandwich. What did Martha eat? A sandwich. Here, we cannot just say Martha ate, then stop. We need to complete the sentence with an object. Why? Simply because the verb is transitive. It obliges us to add an object, otherwise the sentence will be incomplete. She wrote a poem. What did she write? A poem. Not a letter, not a book. A poem. She wrote a poem. An intransitive verb does not require an object to receive its action. An intransitive verb is an action verb that is not followed by a word that answers the question what or whom. Judy waited. We laughed and shouted. The children ran. All these sentences are complete and they do not need an object. A linking verb links the subject with a noun, pronoun, or adjective. Be, in all its forms, is the most commonly used linking verb. Forms of be include am, is, are, was, were, will be, has been, was being, etc. For example, Mr. Brunson is the coach. The person at the door was he. Other verbs that can act as linking verbs include appear, feel, look, seem, sound, taste, become, grow, remain, smell, stay. Note, most of these verbs can also be action verbs, but if you want to determine whether a verb is an action verb or a linking verb, replace or substitute seem for the verb. If seem can be substituted, the verb is probably a linking verb. Look at the following examples. Mildred looks angry. If we replace here looks with seems makes sense. I can say, Mildred seems angry, and it doesn't change the meaning. So here look is a linking verb. Look at me. Seem cannot be substituted here. I cannot say seem at me. It doesn't make sense. Here look is an action verb. Another example. The leaves turned red. Seemed makes sense. Linking verb. The taxi turned the corner. Seemed cannot be substituted. Action verb. Exercise. Take a piece of paper, pause the video and identify the action verb in each sentence. Identify each verb as transitive or intransitive in the blank. Duck-bill platypuses pose a scientific enigma. They possess flat, rubbery bills, no teeth, and webbed feet. Mother platypuses produce milk for their young. Platypuses flop their beaver-like tails. Platypuses settle in rivers and lakes. They also feed there. They sleep in burrows in riverbanks. Male platypuses usually strike their victims. Scientists sometimes call the platypus a bits and pieces animal. Researchers still seek answers to the mammal's mysteries. Let's check the answers. Pose, transitive. Possess, transitive. Produce, transitive. Flop, transitive. Settle, intransitive. Feed, intransitive. Sleep, intransitive. Strike, transitive. Call, transitive. Seek, transitive. Adjectives. An adjective is a word that modifies a noun or a pronoun by limiting its meaning. Please look carefully at the following examples of adjectives. Young girl, comic play, sudden stop, large flag, Chinese food, few dreams, many troubles, these friends, that goal, the answer. If you look carefully, you're going to find two types of adjectives. The adjectives in column A, young, comic, sudden, large, Chinese, are called descriptive adjectives. And those in column B, few, many, these, that, the, are called limiting adjectives or determiners. A descriptive adjective expresses a kind, a quality, or a condition of the person or object named. For example, a tall old elm tree. Tall, old, and elm are three descriptive adjectives. A limiting adjective or a determiner identifies the person or object named or indicates number or identifies number or quantity, quantifier. For example, a tall old elm tree. Here we have the indefinite article a as a limiting adjective or a determiner. Now, in the tall old elm tree, we have four adjectives, one limiting or determiner, the article a, and three descriptive adjectives. In today's lesson, we shall deal first with limiting adjectives or determiners. We shall see descriptive adjectives in the next video. Determiners can be grouped into several categories. First, we have articles. We have the definite article and the indefinite article. The indefinite article a or an indicates any one of a class, persons or objects, or the class itself. For example, a boy, an apple, a human. The definite article, the, indicates a particular person, object, or class. The boy, the apple, the reptiles. A demonstrative adjective points out specific persons or objects. This girl, that woman, these problems, those students. Numeral adjectives. There are two types, cardinal and ordinal. Cardinal denotes number, 1, 2, 3, or 4 lessons. Ordinal adjectives denote order or position. The first, the second, third, or the fourth lesson. Note, if we have a cardinal and an ordinal adjective before a noun, we place the ordinal first. So we say the first 2 lessons and not the 2 first lessons. A possessive adjective limits ownership, her hat, the car, his problem, our town, whose pen. A relative adjective introduces a noun clause and limits a noun or a pronoun in that clause. I know which book he prefers. Let him have whichever one he chooses. Both which and whichever are relative adjectives. Note, the difference between relative adjectives and relative pronouns is that relative pronouns do take place after a noun, but relative adjectives and determiners in general always need a noun or a pronoun after them. So I cannot say this book is mine, but I say this book is mine. An indefinite adjective or a quantifier indicates a person or an object without naming anyone or anything in particular. Any man, some books, each student, few boys, etc. An interrogative adjective modifies the noun or a pronoun by asking a question about it. For example, which road shall we take? What rules are in force? Again, the difference between interrogative pronouns and interrogative adjectives, or the difference between pronouns and determiners in general, is that after a pronoun there is no noun, but after a determiner you find a noun. Why? Because a pronoun replaces a noun and it does not need a noun after it. As you can see in these 2 examples, which and that are interrogative adjectives. And if we delete the nouns road and rules, they will become interrogative pronouns. Now, finally, we have the exclamatory adjective. The word what or the idiomatic expression what a can be used to modify a noun or a pronoun. For example, what excitement, what a battle, etc. Exercise. Take a piece of paper, pause the video and identify each adjective that appears in the following sentences. The treetops of a tropical forest contain a marvelous community of plants and animals living in a complex environment. Exotic varieties of mosses, cacti, ferns, and orchids present unusual shapes and bright colors that are unknown in our American forests. 3. Huge limbs and woody vines intertwine to create the topmost layer of trees in these African and Asian forests. 4. Yearly, biologists and naturalists gather to study the quiet, secret realm of the forests that yield many benefits to the world's population. 5. Natural products that were first discovered in these forests include the familiar and the unfamiliar: rubber, copal, dama, chicle, quinine, vanilla, cocoa, coffee, Brazil nuts, avocado, rattan, and a large percentage of many favorite houseplants. Now check your answers. Both descriptive and determiners are underlined. In the first sentence, the, a, tropical, a, marvelous, living, a, complex. 2. Exotic, unusual, bright, unknown, our, American. 3. Huge, woody, the, topmost, these, African, Asian. 4. The, quiet, secret, the, many, the, worlds. The last sentence, natural, these, the, familiar, the, unfamiliar, Brazil, a, large, many, favorite. See you in another lesson and thank you for watching.